Hello, gorgeous Sagittarius. How are you? I have been waiting to get to your reading. You and Gemini. Nodes are shifting, as you know, right at these moments. And there's a beautiful reading coming out for you. Before we jump in, ooh, my guys want that one. See that? Woo! What do you see? There are a lot of links below. If you're new to the channel and you don't know, first of all, welcome. It's lovely to have you here. And there are some links below the video that are very informative, my guides are saying. So there's a link, there are several links to my website. One is for the special COVID-19 priced reading, which is only $25 for a limited time, so go for it, my guides are saying. Okay, they want that. There is a link to the website that leads to the ability, my guys are talking about the group that we're doing. So if you've been following along, we have been talking through my guides about weaving the tapestry. The way that the heart-mind collective can now be joined together, the next phase of that, stepping into the 4D. In order to be here walking in our human form with our vibration, our frequency, now being utilized consciously. So because of everything that's happening, yep, they want this. Because of everything that's happening, meaning the virus and the politics and the economy and dear Lord, all of it, a great shift and change. Thank you, Spirit. Coming over. So that in order to join that group, there's a request to do a certain type of meditation. All the links are below. Everything you need. And some links to look into the sacred nature of the astrology. Sag, let's jump into it. You ready? We are talking about you as the sacred time master. This is your destiny. While the South Node is inhabited by Sagittarius, you are now in the position where you are able to experience interdimensional travel. So really what's happening with the Sag in the South Node, you're going to be able to let go of things that do not serve you. The things of the past, karmic stuff, all the things that you thought were treasure that turned out to be trash. And that's very blunt, but that's what my guides are saying. This is about mastering time through the ancient shamanic realm so that time does not become linear. So those things from the past are going to be able to be seen now as they wove themselves in and out of your life and previous lifetimes. Okay, my guys are talking about intergalactic, shamanic, multi-dimensional travel. These are the experiences you're going to have as you release yourself. And there is a story here about releasing yourself. It's really awesome. I can't wait to get it out. So let's see. Today's the 5th. I'm a fire sign of Aries rising. So I've been feeling the shift in the energy in ways that are beautiful and profound. And some storms have come across my way. And I've had to manage them. My own self. Not without help, but I mean manage myself. So that's what this is bringing to mind when I see this card. The full moon is in 2 days from the date of this recording. So the nodes are shifting. The full moon in Scorpio. Darling, go howl at the moon. Right. Be in yourself. Know that the circle of your life is forming, and howl into the circle, into the interdimensional places of your sacred, and my guys just said, psychic travel. The full moon's in Scorpio. Everybody's going deep. And you are certainly going to feel it because of the shift of the nodes. It's fabulous. Journey of love for you, now that we've shifted, is going to be about the fire in your heart. You're going to come into your true nature, Sag, in a way that's really beautiful and tender and deep and mystical. Interdimensional time travel. Because of the fire that's in your heart, you see that it's unfolding? Look what's at the center. The radiant light of a Sagittarius. Wisdom, teaching, fun, travel, learning, showing the way, things like that. You're coming into your own. Now that you are going to be traveling in this way. So my guides they're continuing to talk about interdimensional, and they want to give you a message of hope and success, about your vibrational essence and the way it's being used to help humanity release that which doesn't work. So part of your experience, part of what your energy is being utilized for, is to let go of the things that don't work in the human family. This is very interesting. So because of your ability to have radiant love energy, that's what we're talking about. There's the first card. That is the theme of my readings, the way the readings come out. So look at that. Do you see the energy this person is radiating from within themselves? And they've got the purple blue garment of total transformation. Look at the throat chakra, Sag. Check it out. Hang on. It's time for you to speak. And you have a lot to say because of the energy that's emanating from within you. So this is a really beautiful time for you in your life in general, and it's beautiful for those of us here on the earth that get to experience this energy of what it is to release that which doesn't work with love energy and transform it as it goes back into the dimensional center of the galactic universe. So the warrior of art is the Knight of Cups. He's been through the passage tomb. He's highly activated. Do you see the white energy flying around his head, the doves? He does battle with the love energy that emanates from him. That's the theme of your reading, Sag. Look at you. So under that notion, all the things that have already come out, there you are. So I have a dear friend who has been here to Moonrise Cottage. I'm shouting out to you, my love. You know who you are. And that person is a Sagittarius. It is a woman. Like I just said, a feminine center. There you go. The new foundation that you worked so hard, Sagittarius, to be standing on, a sacred foundation here on the earth. See where the fronds are around the feet, and yet out in the universe with the sacred realm, the guides, the angels, the masters, the gods, the goddesses, I don't care what you call it. It's the inference that's important. A new foundation with sacred knowledge, because you have reached out to the universe to ask for help, to bring balance, and to be able to share the knowledge that you've been seeking. And you've been successful because look at that, it's a major arcana card. Look, the counselor of truth. That's what you've stepped into because you are the time master. You've grown into your maturity. That's the hermit. So in this mythological deck, it's about the person who within the village, well, my guides are saying outside, who lived outside the village, a bit of a hermit with their sacred hut and all their magic things. Okay, my guys are saying really funny words. All their bibbity bobs. I don't know where it's coming from, right? But magical accoutrement of the sacred seer. It's interesting. So the sacred seer just came up for Leo. So if you have time and you're hanging out at home, check out the other readings in the fire sign cohort. So when you reach this, the next transition is going to be you going deep inside, because that's what the hermit does, to shine a light. And what you're going to do is you're going to transition right into the sacred realm to have a discussion with the higher vision that exists in the universe. That's why the Time Master is here. It literally is about interdimensional travel and communication and experiencing yourself that way. So if you think about the hermit with the hood, shining a light, has a lantern, looking down into the dark, looking into the deep. And the very next thing we see in your reading is this notion, pardon me, this way, Two of Swords, where we see someone in a traditional deck sitting next to the ocean. Two swords, blindfolded, sitting there in a white garment. What that person is not, they are not struggling with a decision. I hope to dispel that notion. They are making a decision by consulting the guides. The swords are pulling down the energy from the sacred realm. And you sit there in this way, inside yourself, communicating with the sacred realm. And when you perform that and you reach this sort of ability to be in connection with sacred vision, that's what the eagle's all about. You see how there's a literal connection? You're going to go in for a journey, and you're going to go across the universe to have a sacred connection. Interdimensional travel to reach your guides. The sacred elders, again, seen here as the Queen of Pentacles, who sits in the universe, and she's looking directly at you. You see how she's placed? So it's not just the cards, it's the placement of the cards that matter. So do you see the progression that's happening? You're going to go to the place where your destiny is being woven, because that's what she does. She weaves together the destiny of her sacred lineage. That's a sacred grandmother, Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Knowledge. She has a high degree of ability to create what she wants. And because she's earth-bound, she's very stable in her ability to weave together a sacred lineage into her family. And that's what's going on for you, Sag. So the energy that ties this together with your soul travel, your soul cycle that my guides are here to talk about, the Emperor. So you're going to have the ability to take all of this and coalesce it into a sacred place. The new strategy, very stable. The keeper of harmony is the energy, the bridge energy that ties your human life together with your sacred passage, my guides are saying, right? Your soul cycle. That's the Emperor card. Wow. So again, my guides are talking about your transition. This destination, because you've come into your wisdom, you've been able to look inside, take the journey. You now are the counselor of truth in your own life. And because of that, you become the Emperor in your own existence. So when you think about why, right? That's what people come for a reading. They always want to know, well, why? And what am I supposed to be doing? Here's the answer, Sag. This is the end of this. This is the King of Swords. He's here to let you know. You see the full moon? Again? Coming out in your reading? This is the moment when he got his healing. His hand was severed. He lost the throne because he wasn't whole and he wasn't allowed to sit on the throne without all of himself present, because you cannot be in a position of leadership when there's something that's been severed from you. On a soul level, you are having a mystical healing. I believe it's going to be very connected to this full moon that's about to, my guides just said, about to burst on the scene. Look how beautiful that is. If I can get it right, look at that. Something emanating from inside of you coming to the surface. Death and rebirth, all those kind of notions. He looks like he's sitting in a graveyard, right? He's got an extreme amount of clarity now. Extreme amount of clarity about sacred vision. Because he is literally in connection with the ancient ones, with the guides. And his great healing completes itself. And a new life begins. Do you see all the wisdom animals there? So look all that stuff up on the internet, okay? Eagle vision, again, by the head. And look, do you see the Pisces signature at the head? There's a little bit of overwhelm indicated here with the fluttering leaves. But there's elk and owl and crow. Look all these things up, all right? So you might come across some of these animals in your travels over the next number of days, my guides are saying. That's a 10 of Wands. So whatever the wound was, that some part of you had been severed somehow because of your life journey, or your soul has created the life experiences that you've had because it wanted to study them in order to move past them. Inside this lifetime, intergalactic, interdimensional travel inside a life without a death process is an extraordinarily profound intention and experience. And I believe, Sag, given the way the readings have been coming out for the last year and a half or so, this has been the story, hasn't it? It's really interesting to me. So 10 of Wands, you heal, mystical healing happens, and then, good, you got your hand back, and the first thing you do is let go of all the bullshit. Woo! I like it. Sag, I mean, my guys are saying, how sterling is that? It's awesome. You are released. You are releasing yourself. It's phenomenal. And so the next thing that comes is another major arcana. Do you see the vessel? It's so beautiful. So that is the sacred goddess Semius. She is the chanting one. This is the Ace of Cups. So the type of love energy that's going to be available to you as you sail through, as long as Sag is in the South Node. My guys want you to understand the ability that you're going to have to manifest what comes next for you. That's what the journey's going to be about. Manifesting what comes next while your energy is being benefited by being in the South Node in order to release the stuff that doesn't work. And by so doing, because you're here as a spirit being, you help the entire earth. So as you do your life, the earth turns and changes because you are a sacred vibrational identifier here in this place. So understand yourself very deeply now, okay? Here's the outcome card. Wait till you see this. It blew my mind when it came out. Wow, Sag. The adventure of knowledge. 7 of Pentacles. How is it that you make your garden grow? In this deck, it's a mystical story about somebody who had to go and touch death, like the King of Battle that we see sitting in a graveyard. So, back in the day, on Halloween, there was a tradition, go out to the gallows, because every town had one. Yuck, right? But that's the way it was. Put a rope around a corpse to prove your strength, to prove the fact that you can face death. So now we're going to turn back toward the idea of mystical vision. When this person did that and stepped into the courtyard, he immediately had a vision. Do you see the fire? Look. The vision was about a tragedy. His village, basically, the place where he lived, burning to the ground. And the moment he stepped in and had this vision, he traveled, wait for it, into another dimension. And he went into the land of the fairies. And he met a sacred banshee, a feminine fairy known as a banshee, who, they wail and they call out warnings and things like that. And begged her for help. And she said, I'll help you, but you have to go back. You have to call out the warning. That's your job to do. You have to go back to the top world. You can't stay here in the underworld when you got things to do up there. So my guides are talking about, here on Earth and out in those other places. The underworld, the South Node, it's given me a shiver. Sag, I just love you so much. So interdimensional travel, he was successful. He did go through his journey. When he was done, he went back in to the other world and he stayed there and lived happily ever after and married up with the fairy woman. And, these are all fairy tales to a certain degree. Proverbs, my guys are saying, parables, proverbs, whatever. So Sag, think about the implications that are coming out. Please have a full moon ceremony. Whatever it is that you want to complete in your life and you want to let go of, do it. Write it down. Have a literal fire ceremony, okay? Literally do it, please. Hang on, I gotta put them down right so I can take your picture. All right, let's see. Let's pick from the bag of rooms, okay? My guys are saying, let's cap this off. All right, Spirit, please. Oh, this mystical journey, Sag, you're so fabulously, of all the fire signs, you are the most mystical in terms of these types of things that your energy brings to this place where we live. And so now you get to experience your own self that way with this interdimensional travel deep into the universe. My guides have been saying the galactic center a lot lately because that's where we're going. So if you'd like to join us, we'd love to have you in this effort to weave the global tapestry and bring forward the council of all being and weave this energy together. We need you, Sag. So if you're out there and you're available on Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock, please join us. The link is below. All right, and if you have any questions, just send me an email. All right, Spirit, please give us some information for Sag about this incredible mystical journey. What is it that Sagittarius could know? What is the advice? Here it comes. Hang on. Amazing. All right, I'm going to read it to you right from the book. This is perfect. Thank you, Spirit, so much, my guides. And what I do with my glasses. Whew, gosh, they've just been so supportive as the readings have been coming out. So it's interesting because this is the rune. Sorry, I forgot to show you. That's the rune for defense. It's perfect. So let's just read it and you'll understand my guides are saying. All right, so almost there. So this is Awaz. This is defense, avertive powers. It is signified by the yew tree. What the yew tree does, all right, they want me to hold this up. What the yew tree does, one of its capacities is it will, its branches will hang on the ground and then it will root itself, dig down into the ground and pop up in another place. I swear to God, you can't make this stuff up. Okay, interdimensional travel. It's astounding to me. Okay, so as we are tested, we fund the power to avert blockage and defeat. At the same time, we develop in ourselves an aversion to the conduct that creates stress in our lives. If there appears to be an obstacle in your path, consider that even a delay may prove beneficial. Do not be overly eager to press forward, for this is not a time or a situation in which you can make your influence felt, because we have Sag in the South Node. My guys are chattering on about it, releasing brings the new creation. That's what they're talking about. Patience is the counsel of Awaz. Nothing hectic, no acting needy, no lusting after a desired outcome. The rune speaks to the difficulties that can arise at the beginning of a new life. Oops. Often it announces a time of waiting, for a spring to fill up with water, for a fruit to ripen on the bough. Perseverance and foresight are called for. The ability to foresee consequences before you act is the mark of a profound person. Avert anticipated difficulties through right action. And yet, even more than we are doers, we are deciders. See that? That's what my guys are doing. They're showing me a face with the eyebrows going like that. Okay. So once the decision is clear, the doing becomes effortless. For then the universe supports and empowers your actions. They just want me to keep showing you this. Okay? So receiving Awaz, you are put on notice that through inconvenience or possible discomfort, growth is promoted. This may well be a trying time. Certainly it is a meaningful one. Set your house in order. Tend to the business at hand. Be clear and wait on the will of heaven. There's something about this. They just want me to keep holding it up. All right. I think because of the allegory of the story. Understand, this person was terrified. They didn't really want to be doing what they were doing, but, it was like a double dare, and you had to prove yourself. So you go and you do the gruesome thing. Partly it's about testing yourself. Like, can I do it? What will happen? Who will I be afterward? Do I want to have that experience and my experience based? Things like that. And then when you make the decision to test yourself and to do the things that may be challenging and frightening and a little unknown, my guides are saying, immediately the universe rises to meet you and all will be well. So Sag, it's a very interesting message coming forward for you for the next, these readings that are coming out in May are foundation readings for the next cycle until the nodes shift again. So this is about May. And apologies that they're out late. It's been a little crazy. Some things have been going on here. I don't know if you've been following along. I had an update that came and I clicked on it and my whole entire computer crashed and it was gone for 3 days or 4 days. So that's why I'm behind. So those are the kind of things that my guys are talking about. And finally I just thought, well, that's the way that is. While the computer's being fixed, what else could I accomplish? And then fabulous things started to happen. So I'm there I'm an Aries rising. If you don't know, I'm there with you, Sag. All right, I love you, all the Sages that I know. Fabulous, radiant individuals, and trust the unfolding. Just trust it and go straight into it. And you might end up in the land of the fairies. And I will meet you there. Okay, Sag? Love you guys. I'll talk to you soon.